Hey guys, how are we getting on today? So today I'm here with Dave O'Brien.
Hi guys.
So Dave is a world record holder. He's an international speaker on health and wellness, and he's also an ultra marathon runner. And of course as well, he's a barefoot marathon runner. So it's exciting to have you here with us today.
Hey, it's good to be here. It's good to be here, Steve. Thanks a million. Fantastic. So we, lovely introduction, by the way. I really appreciate that. But I suppose there's a bit of craziness and madness mixed up with all of that as well, and a zest for life, because that's what it's about. And see this guy here beside me, zap! He's full of it. Loads of energy. Loads and loads of energy.
So I think what I'd really like to hear from you is like your own intake on health and well-being and some of the stuff that you've seen in people as you're traveling around the world, or stories that you've heard from people.
Sure, yeah, it's a massive issue nowadays, isn't it? I often think, that we have, where we are, Steve, we're only about a mile as the crow flies from a particular hospital here in Cork, and we see the bedlam that's there in our health service. I mean, we call it a health service. I think we should call it a disease care service, not a health care service, because we treat disease. But whatever happens, Steve, about prevention and education, and it is a massive issue out there. And so much of these problems that we see, we can sort ourselves. Not everything, but a lot we can. You know, people I often say, run to the doctor and say, fix me. Why don't you fix yourself? Because most of the time we actually can. And so what I've seen around, we used to talk about, how things were in America, how everything was extra portion, extra large, the chicken wings, the fast food and so on. But it's happening here. It's been happening here for years and years and years. And we see it every day of the week. You come across it, I come across it, people come to you, particularly parents with their kids now.
Yeah.
We're seeing kids now with type 2 diabetes. Oh my goodness, an old person's disease. And imagine this, hardening of the arteries in 12-year-old children. It's insane, it absolutely is. And it has to stop. And so I guess our little chat today, we're going to be talking about really taking ownership and responsibility of our own health. Not leaving it to somebody else. Nobody's going to come in and save you. But we have the power to be able to do these things for ourselves.
Yeah, no, definitely. I think it's really important as well that people understand that even before they get to a stage of developing disease in their body or actually getting sick, because if a lot of people are watching this, they could be at a stage where, they're drinking Coke every day or whatever fizzy drinks, or eating loads of sweets, but they're not feeling any effect from it because they're still at an early age.
True.
Whereas later on in life, that's what can affect you. And I think that's kind of the message that we want to try and put it across there, that things can happen, and they have been happening to a lot of people around the world.
No, I love what you're saying. I don't like what you're saying, but I totally agree with what you're saying. The big thing I often talk about is cellular repair, and we know, for example, I'm 65 years of age, 66 coming up in a few months' time, but we have this insanely incredible body. This body, you cut your finger, it heals, you get a cold, it goes away, and yet we give the amount of thought that goes into looking after ourselves. We care more about a shopping list or our holidays than we do about our own health. And here's the problem. People don't worry about their own health till they haven't got it. And you're bang on. So when I travel around, you and I know people who are, let's say, in their 30s, but they're not well. You know what I mean? They're lethargic, they're tired, their immune system is down, and all that kind of stuff. And then you meet somebody who's twice their age, in their 60s, 70s, and they're vibrant, they're out, they're doing stuff. What is all that about? So I often say it's not so much about age, as we know it as a number, but cellular age. If I could see through you now, Steve, at the moment, it'd be brilliant to be like, woohoo! Your cardiovascular looks pretty okay, or your spleen isn't good, but we can't do that. It's an issue. So seeing that we can't do that, all we can do is stack the cards in our favor. And there is so much that we can do to do that.
Yeah, so it really comes back to self-care and looking after yourself and putting yourself first.
I love that. Taking ownership and responsibility of our own health. And everyone listening to this, please, no matter what stage you're at, we're not pointing a finger at anybody. I promise you that much. We've all been there. But what I would say is, take care of you. Be selfish. Be selfish today, because what do? All of us listening here today, we look after our partner, we look after our kids, we look after our mum and dads, we look after by ourselves. It's insane, because we have a responsibility to look after ourselves, because when you look after you, you'll be able to look after many. And that's the way it should be. So I would say be selfish, as Steve said. Start to take care of yourself. And I don't care at what stage you're at, what age you're at, it doesn't matter. It's never, ever too late to go boom, to make these decisions, little tiny things, bit by bit by bit, to make a big difference in your life.
No, that's brilliant. That's exactly what it is about. It's just about taking that first step.
Absolutely.
Taking that first step.
Absolutely. People say, look, oh, what can I do? You can do, oh my God, you can do so much. It's just insane. You're looking at a guy, people think that I live up a tree and eat the bark and live with the animals. And probably a lot of the time I do, but no, seriously. I was growing up as a kid, you probably don't know this, right? But I was just disastrous. My dad, while he was with us, my dad was very strict. No sweets. It was just fruit and fruit and fruit. And when my dad left, I was 10 years of age, but when I was very young. And then when I got my first job, I always said when I got some money that I would go out and I would buy a sweet shop. Well, I almost did. And all through my life, for up to about 30, I guess, so you're looking at a good, 15, 16 years, I ate bags of sweets, and I had, my mum fed us well, but I ate junk. Really bad food. So people who think that I was born healthy, that I just eat, raw avocados and broccoli stalks, I wasn't brought up that way. I was brought up with a good diet, but I had a poor diet myself when I got older. Until one day I decided, and it's a long story, we won't go into today, but things changed in my life, and I started to look after me, realizing that the most important decision that I was going to make in a day was what I put into my mouth. That's the most important, because your body will just respond. Boom. You know what happens? You get a. Here, I'll give you something to try at home, right? You get a bar of chocolate. I challenge you. Go on, take 1 or 2 squares of it now, and wait a second. Wait 5-10 minutes, and somebody else in the room takes some broccoli, and just take raw now. Take it raw. Just take a little piece and just chew it for a few minutes, and I'll come back to both of you in 15 minutes, and I'm going to ask you how you feel. The one with the broccoli, you won't feel any different whatsoever. But the one with the chocolate, it was yummy. I want more. But I feel just a little bit sicky in the tummy. There you go. That's your body crying out, telling you, will you stop? Because the likes of cancer loves sugar. It loves it. It thrives on it. And, it is a big issue there. So all the sugars that we see, sugar, salts and fats, the bad fats, they're a big issue, aren't they, Steve? We see it in everything that we eat. It's in everything. I mean, everything. Would you agree?
Oh no, it is definitely in everything, especially with all the processed foods these days. That a lot of stuff, there's no live food anymore.
No.
That you actually have to go out of your way to get live food, and it's not expensive to get live food as well.
Not at all.
It's just the fact, convenience. A lot of people go, oh, I'm just going to grab this, or I'm going to grab this instead, rather than picking up some real fruits, veg, lean meat, stuff like that.
No, you're right.
And it's going to have an impact on your health long term, and it's okay to have stuff every now and then. Everybody likes a bit of a treat, whatever, but it's about making sure that you're getting that goodness into your body as well, because if you're not putting the goodness into your body, then your body can never function properly, and if your body is not functioning properly, eventually things are going to start breaking down, and that's where people get sickness, colds, flus, all this kind of stuff falls into place. But if you're fueling yourself right and giving yourself all the goodness of real food, then your body absorbs it in, takes it, your body starts functioning a lot better, and it can build itself, it can repair itself, and it can help you feel a lot better within yourself.
Without doubt. And if you take a look at, you mentioned illness, if you look at a degenerative disease, take a heart attack, for example. The stats, I won't go into them, but they go onto the Irish Heart Foundation site and have a look at the stats. It'll frighten the life out of you. Every day in this country, in Ireland, we have around 27, 28 people die from cardiovascular disease. And you know the sad thing, Steve? The really, really sad thing is that the majority of that is preventable. Not with pills, with diet and lifestyle changes. And wait for this, the majority of that is reversible with proper diet and lifestyle changes. And so, if you take somebody that has a heart attack just doesn't happen when somebody presents themselves at the emergency department. It doesn't. The heart attack goes way, way back, where it takes a long time to build up that plaque in the arteries. It just doesn't happen overnight. And that's why you don't see these things. In fact, a good friend of mine, only recently got a huge scare, got a heart attack, and thankfully was in the right place at the right time and is okay. But talk about a wake-up call. And that's somebody I knew. It was probably, it was going to happen. I mean, their diet was terrible. They didn't exercise that much. Didn't really look very healthy. But my point is that, you know, as Steve said there, it's fueling your body to repair. It's always been that for me. Always, always. And because we can't bloody well see it, we think it's okay to keep up this stuff. And here's a tip. Do you know the way, you know, parents will often say, oh God, my kids, you know, my daughter, my son, they're just eating crap all day long. They're having a pizza now. They're eating chocolate. But hang on a second. And particularly for younger kids, does your 10-year-old take a trolley, go in, buy all the sweets and, you know, yummy rubbish, and then go up to the checkout and take out a credit card and pay for it? They don't. We do that. I mean, if it's not in the house, they can't eat it. End of story. And find ways. There's loads of ways you can get around the sweet tooth. Loads of ways. We can cover that maybe in another video, but there's loads of ways you can do it. So I think it should be about fueling your body to repair, because lads, at the end of the day, I saw, I put it on my phone actually yesterday, I never told you this, I saw a drawing. I had to take a picture of it. It's on my iPhone. I have it there. Yesterday, Steve, you wouldn't believe it. And it's a picture of an adult with their two children left and right going under a bridge. And he's holding their hand. It's a drawing, pencil drawing. And right underneath it is the picture of those, of the children have grown older, and the child is holding their dad or mum, who is now bent over and going under the bridge. It's really poignant. But we bring up our children and they will look after us, hopefully, when we get older in life. But my point about that is, people look at age with that kind of problem in mind. You know, I'll be a burden, I won't be able to do... No. You should, look, I'm 65. I want to be around in 30 years' time with a sharp mind and without a stick. And you can. And that's what I'm talking about. That kind of energy, that kind of, you know, being vibrant all the time. I mean, I'm sure people think I'm an energized bunny on speed. But the thing is that I'm not. I just have a zest for life and a passion about health and how we can take that ownership and responsibility and make a difference.
Yeah, no, that's brilliant. I just love what you just said there about having that zest for life.
Oh, yeah.
Because I think people tend to lose focus a lot. I know, like when I was a teenager and stuff, I had no idea what I wanted. I had no idea what I was passionate about. I had nothing that was driving me.
Yeah.
I was just going day by day and that was it.
Right.
I had no excitement for the future.
Right.
And so the way that you're saying that there now, it kind of brings to mind that people should look for things that excite them.
Oh, totally. You know, Steve and I had a chat before we went live here on this video, and we were talking about, you know, people doing stuff and doing all the right things. But let's be honest, nobody, ourselves, our children, our friends, nobody is going to do something they don't want to do willingly. You're not going to jump out of bed in the morning and do something you don't want to do. You know, it's not going to happen unless there's something deep-rooted inside. And Steve and I are talking about deep-rooted stuff because you can hear that we're really excited, we're jumping around the place, but it's because that we see the benefits. You know, I have 3 grandkids. They're just, you know, you have your own children, you think you'll never love a child, and then you get like your own, and then you get a grandkid. Oh, stop. But you know, I was with 2 of them yesterday, and I live on a kind of a hill here, and one was on my back. I was chasing the other one around. Like, I'm 66 almost. Do you know what I mean? And I'm not making a big deal about it, but that's what it's about, being able to enjoy your grandkids, being able to enjoy your own children as adults, you know, being able to do stuff together. Isn't it true, Steve? So, you know, the rewards are mega. So it's just at the here and now, we don't worry about these things because we can't see bad health. We can't see the problems that's going to lie ahead, but we can do something about it.
No, exactly. So I suppose what I wanted to ask you, what kind of tips would you have for someone that actually wants to make a change? So you're going to get a lot of people that will talk about saying, oh yeah, I'm going to do this,
okay,
I'm going to do this, I want to feel healthier, I want to feel more energized or whatever.
Sure.
So what tips would you have for people that are in that spot so that they can actually start to take those steps moving forward? Oh,
I love that question. I tell you why. Because people think, you know, I talk all over the world, as Steve said, and I'll be there, and there'll be a lot of people, let's say a big audience, and I'll be giving it welly. And at the end of it, I kind of say to the audience, and this will answer your question in a roundabout way, and I say to the audience, now that you've heard this crazy Irish desert runner, barefoot runner, you're all going to go away now and drink 10 litres of water and eat raw broccoli stalks, aren't you? No. No, you're not. Not one single one of you. In fact, I say, when this is finished, you're going to leave this building, put the key in your ignition, and you're going to forget about that crazy Irish desert runner and his healthy eating. Because that's life, that's reality. Things will go on. You'll look at this video and you'll go away and bang, life will hit you smack back in the face again. So here's what I'm saying to everybody. The good news is that you're not going to change. Nobody's going to change it. You and I are not going to. If you were to come to me, Dave, and say, I need you to do this, 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 and this, I say, Steve, I'm not going to do it, am I? Or maybe I'll say, yes, Steve, and I'll pat him and I'll go away and say, I'm not going to do any of that stuff. But here's the deal. My advice is to pick one small thing. Not a big thing, a small thing. Let me give you an example. So if you go to bed, let's say at midnight every night, let's go to bed at 11. Try it. Just try it for 1 month. I promise you, try it for 1 month. Guess what? After a month, it becomes a habit. Now you've got an hour on your side, on the right side of 12, makes all the difference. Supposing you have, say 3 or 4 cups of coffee in a day. Some people have more, some people have less, but 3 or 4 a day. Try going to 2 cups of coffee a day and add an extra glass of water. If you take 1 glass of water and you hate drinking water, get a bottle with a small top, a little small, and sip it. Sip it. Just get into the habit of sip it. Have one in the car, sip it. One in the kitchen, sip. Just get it into your head. Do that for a month, it becomes a habit. More water, clean out the toxins. You see what's happening. And I promise you, after 2 or 3 months, more water, better sleep. Now your food. Let's have a look at the food. So the worst time of all, we know this. After, isn't it 7, 8, 9 at night? What do we all do? You're laughing, I see you. Come on, you're all smiling. Open the presses. Yeah, I know. Is there a chocolate biscuit there? Is there, a bag of crisps would go down well now. A crisp sandwich. Woohoo! Lads, if you want to get over that, and that's difficult, that's like a drug. That's the biggest drug of all right? So what I would suggest you doing something like that is, outside knocking yourself out, what I would do is find like a piece of fruit that's sweet. They'll have it. Do you know what I have? These donut peaches? They're kind of really sweet. And like I've wicked cravings. Don't get me wrong. I'd be craving for stuff as well. Go and get a piece of fruit or anything really sweet in taste. I find the peaches are great. A couple of grapes, if you've got some nice something at night. Seriously, at night. And the other thing is, if you take, trust me on this one, a full 8-ounce glass of water, wait 2 or 3, 4 minutes, that hunger pang that you had for the sweet stuff will be gone. So is it going to be easy? Oh God, no, it's not. Oh Jesus, you'll be cursing me. It's going to be difficult. But if you can take one of those changes I said for 1 month, it becomes a habit, and then pick another one the next month, and so on and so on and so on. So when Dave O'Brien sees you then, okay, in a couple of months down the road, because by the way, I now know who you are, I know where you live, I will find you. And when I do, no, seriously guys, it's time for you now. This video is the time for you now. It's time now to say, hang on a second. This is my time. This is time for me to start looking after me. Okay? And that will be my message to you. One small change every month, and then it becomes a habit. Is that okay, Steve?
Yeah, that's absolutely perfect. And like leading on from making those small changes, it's not just about eating better and sleeping better and stuff. It's about the impact it's having inside. It's going to be really good for your mental health, and it's going to help reduce stress levels.
Of course.
It's going to help improve your energy levels. So it's going to help improve your all-around wellness at the end of the day.
It does. And the fantastic thing about that is this zest for life I speak about starts to come back, because we all are like, I guess, people in a hamster wheel. We punch in the 9-to-5 card. A lot of us do, thank God I'm being paid for something I adore. I would do it for nothing. And I have done for lots of times. But there's many people out there who are caught between a rock and a hard place, particularly nowadays with young people. Do you know what I mean? You've got both, both members are working. The husband and wife or the partners are both working. If they've got kids, you're getting a childminder or a creche. You're looking at $1,000 a month. You're paying a big mortgage. You can't get off that merry-go-round. What do I do? I can't stop doing what I do. I don't. It's stressful, and it's like you're caged in. How do I get out? And stress. By the way, stress, the #1 killer of our time. And if you don't believe me, get on to the Irish Cancer Society, the Irish Heart Foundation, and they will tell you. I did a talk in London many years ago, and it was one of the tabloids, and there was a picture of a woman. She was accused of killing her 2 children, by the way. Such a sad story. And she had this beautiful mop of dark hair. And 1 month later in prison, they took another picture, and guess what? Her hair was white. Now, if stress, Steve, I put to you, if stress does that to you on the outside, what the hell is it doing on the inside? And finally, without going too much into this subject, because that's another subject I cover, but people think to be stressed that you have to be like this. You know what I mean? If you want to see stress, come to the Kinsale roundabout at 9 o'clock on a Monday morning, right? No, but seriously, stress is not this. Stress is when you don't even know you have it. Stress is going to bed at night but not being able to sleep. Stress is getting up in the morning and the first thing you think of as an issue is a problem. That's stress. Stress is when Steve is talking to me and I'm not in the zone with him. I'm thinking of, I have to be there at this time. That's stress. Yes, some stress is good and positive and it's good for the endorphins. It's good. We need a certain amount of it. But there's certain types of stress. The stress that I'm talking about, that so many people out there I see have, is one that has to be tackled. You have to do something about it. Sometimes I say to people, stop. Breathe. Be in the moment, guys. Take that time out for you. I don't care if it's only 10 tiny minutes in a day. Take that time out from you, away from your husband, away from your wife, away from the kids, away from away from the bloody mobile phone, away from all of that. Just breathe and be in the moment. Your body will thank you for it.
Yeah, no, definitely. No, that's brilliant.
Okay.
Lots of words of wisdom there. I have one last question for you, though.
There's more. Am I getting paid for this? Oh, for God's sake.
Just to finish off, so just if you would have any tips or advice for teenagers that are in school, especially in around 5th or 6th year, like they're coming towards the end of their school year, so that's kind of when stress levels kick in.
Yeah.
They might be worrying about what am I going to do afterwards, what am I going to study.
Okay.
What would you kind of say to those people?
Great question again. But you're hitting me with the right questions. We didn't plan this. Actually, we didn't. Jokes aside, he just put on the camera and said, what do you want to talk about? He said, look, anything. Just, we're going to let it flow, and that's the way it should be. Yeah, that age is such a key part in a young man or young woman's life. And there is the worry. There is the worry, what am I going to do? And this thing of points, I mean, will I have enough points to get what I want? Or, I put so much time and effort into this. My parents have put time in. What if I don't succeed at this? What if it's not what I want to do? All these negatives that bang, keep hitting you. Let me tell you one thing. You, my friends, each and every one of you, there's only one of you on this planet, only one, nobody else. You're in flaws and all. We all, warts and all, as I said, but you're the most unique, awesome, incredible human being. There's only one of you. And it's easy for me to say don't worry, because it's just easy to throw away that remark. But I promise you one thing, find out inside of you what gives you joy, what you love doing, when you're talking about it, your eyes light up. Your heart races. Something that really lights your fire. Find out what that is. I don't care what it is. I used to say to my kids, if you want to sweep the streets, I know that doesn't sound very empowering to your children, yeah? But as long as you adore what you do, you love what you do, you're getting fulfillment out of it, and it's who you are, then that's okay, that's fine. Because you will find your niche. You will find it. You're very young yet. I mean, how are you supposed to... people say, you're in 50 and on, and teachers and everything, and parents say, well, what do you want to do when you grow up? No, but seriously, what do you want to do? I mean, I still don't know what I want to do. I probably shouldn't be saying this on camera. Like, all parents will be switching off now. Oh, this guy, stop. But seriously, do not worry about these things. Life is here to grasp with both hands, to go out there and achieve and do what you really love to do, what's inside here all the time. And you will change in life. You will, you study a particular subject, you go for, I've known many people, my own kids included, absolutely is a perfect example. You go to college, you work really hard, you get a great result out of college, and then after 2-3 years you decide it's not for me. Stop it. Move out. I don't care what they're paying you. I don't care how technical it is. I don't care how high up there you are. If it's not for you and it's not giving you joy, if it's not giving you fulfillment, if it's not you, then you go to the next step. And you can never do a wrong thing. Get that out of your head. You can never do a wrong thing. You go out there and you think, oh, I messed up. Or, lads, I have messed up more times in my life. But that's how you develop as a person. That's how your personality is developed. You know, what doesn't kill us will make it stronger. So never worry about these things. Be that person you know that you are. And I know if it's very airy-fairy or it sounds, not very, structured, but you get the whole sense of what I'm talking about. Yeah, I hope you do. So don't get too engrossed in will I be able to do this and will I be good enough or what? Yes, you will. I promise you. And there'll always be Steve and Dave here. Hopefully we'll be around. There's always people, always, and this is very important. We're joking about this, but on a serious note, and with so much mental health, and I'm glad you brought it up. Ireland, by the way, has one of the most serious problems with mental health, particularly among young men, by the way, but men and women in this country. In fact, per head of population, we have one of the most serious problems in the world. I don't know if you know that, Stephen. And there are stats out there from loads of different places that you can go on Google and check. But it's a sad fact. And what I would say to people, and I know this is a common advice, Steve, you do it on your website. I say it when I'm talking around the world. Please speak to somebody. Please speak to somebody. Because there's somebody out there that has gone through what you have, is going through what you have. It's never as bad. That black hole, there's always a way through. I remember times when I was doing this world record, I was out running through deserts in China, in Sahara Desert, Egypt, out in Antarctica, where you're on your own. There's nobody. You're carrying all that weight on your back. You're crying out. Your body wants to stop. Your mind is somewhere. You're just losing your mind. The pain is horrible. You just can't go on. Well, take it from me. There is always one more step. Never give up. Find somebody to talk to. Find a buddy. We can't do it on their own. I need somebody. Steve needs somebody. We all need somebody. Okay? We all want to be loved. We all want to live in peace and harmony, but we all need somebody. And never ever be ashamed or afraid to do that. And that would be my message to you guys now, you amazing youngsters looking to go into your, as you said, maybe a transition year, going into your 6th year, thinking of all the options that are there. Every one of you is so individual, but find out what's in your heart. And if you can't get it straight away, then work towards it. You know what I mean? My advice. I hope it's been helpful.
That's been brilliant. Dave, thank you so much.
Put it there, my friend. Put it there.
Been incredible. Thank you.
Absolutely brilliant. Take care, guys. Until the next one, mind yourselves. God bless.